Chapter 23, She's Not Cute. Tuesday, April 2nd, 1935. In English class, Miss Bimp pairs Scout and me together for a journalism project. And just like that, we're friends again. We start talking about who we think will win the World Series this year, and the next thing I know, he's put a game together at lunch. He doesn't make a big deal out of it. Neither do I. If it weren't for the fact that my throwing arm is rusty and my timing stinks, I'd be happy. But what do I expect? All I've done for the past 2 months is bowl. Then, on the way back to class, Scout says, "I'll trade you my extra glove for one of those convict baseballs. You find one of them yet?" Not exactly. Piper said they just come sailing over the wall. He does a whistling imitation of a ball in flight. She made it sound like everyone on Alcatraz has one. "When you talk to Piper, anyway?" I ask, as I stop to tie my shoes. Scout waits for me. "Sometimes we talk in French class. How come you don't want to look for one now?" "I don't know." I heave my book bag over my shoulder and walk on. "She said maybe she could get me one." "Maybe," Scout says. I stop and stare at him. "How come you're so friendly with her all of a sudden?" He shrugs. "Kinda cute, don't you think?" "No," I say. Scout doesn't say anything. He throws his glove in the air and catches it. "She's not cute." I glare at him. Fine, she's not cute. What are you so ticked off about anyway? I'm the one who's supposed to be sore, you know. I kick at the grass. I don't blame you for being burnt up. "Piper said your sister is different. She said nobody ever watches her but you." He looks quick at me and then away. I shrug. "Look, I'd just like to have one of those baseballs," he says. "They look just like any other baseball." "Oh, so you do have one?" "No, I don't." This comes out louder than I mean it to. "I've seen Jimmy's, that's all." "Well, if they're laying around, I thought you could just pick one up for me. You know, if we're friends." "Of course we're friends," I say. "Sure, I'll find you one." I smile at him. In history class, my teacher, Mr. Burgard, begins discussing the Louisiana Purchase, and I sit and stew. It's not Scout I'm thinking about, though. It's Scout and Piper. Do they sit next to each other in French class? How come I haven't heard about this before? I knew they were friendly, but I didn't know they were that friendly. I think about this through history and all of math class. I think about it all the way home. When my mother leaves, I unroll the sleeves of my shirt, button them at the cuffs, and I grab Natalie's jacket. There's poison oak on the island, and I don't want us to get it. "Okay, Nat, let's go." I open the door, all business today. I head up the stairs, Nat scuffing along behind me, pulling at her sweater like her shirt sleeve is caught up inside. "Hey, Nat," I say, double backing so I'm walking next to her. As soon as I do, she stops, dead in her tracks, and refuses to move forward until I go first. Nat is a single file kind of girl. "What do you think of Mrs. Kelly?" I ask, as I'm walking around to the windy west side of the island now, craning my neck back to hear what she says. 9868, Natalie answers. 9868. What does that mean? Oh, yes, that's Mrs. Kelly's address. Yes, exactly, 9868. "No buttons, Missy," Natalie says. I look down at the water. There are almost waves today, like the bay is trying very hard to be the ocean. "Right, I know. She won't let you play with your buttons." But there's something odd about the way Nat says no buttons. "Now buttons, Missy," Natalie tries again, and this time I hear it. She's doing an imitation of the way Mrs. Kelly talks. Natalie has made a joke. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard. For a second, I think I see Natalie smile too. Or maybe I've just imagined it. It's that quick. I want to grab Natalie, hold her here with me, keep her from going down again. I just love talking to her this way. And then the thought occurs to me. Is Mrs. Kelly helping? "So, Nat," I say, like I would to a normal sister, What would you think about two people who talk all the time in French class? Two people talk, she says. Yeah, exactly. She stops and looks right at me. Right at me. Then it's almost as if she shrugs. Okay, so I'm probably wrong, but I like thinking this, even if it's not true. Okay, Nat, I say, eyeing the rec yard wall through the chain link fence and straight up the hill from us. We're looking for a baseball. I wait for the gulls to quiet down. You know, like mine, right? A line driven down the center. A line drive down the center. I smile. That's right. We look for the baseball in the bushes here. Natalie look for baseball? I say. Natalie looks up in the sky as if it's going to fall from there. Well, not exactly. You look down here. I poke around in the bushes, showing her what I want her to do. Natalie runs her tongue over her lip as if this takes all the concentration she has. Okay, follow me. I shimmy up the steep hill sideways and begin picking through the thicket of bushes. I try to walk in a pattern. Natalie likes patterns. Maybe she'll follow along. But it's difficult to keep to it because the bushes are thick. I look up at the yard wall again. My dad said the baseball diamond is in this corner. I scramble on through the underbrush. Natalie isn't following. She's sitting down on the side of the hill with a pile of pebbles. She's setting them up, almost like an abacus. I wonder what she's doing. It seems complicated, but it looks like it's more fun than getting scratched by bushes, looking for a baseball. Sometimes Natalie is saner than I am. I finish searching one patch, then look up at the chain link fence that separates where I'm allowed to go from where I'm not. My eyes follow the chain link all the way up to where it hits the cement yard wall. I can see the guard tower now, but I don't think the guard can see me. Then I look down at Natalie. She's totally absorbed in her stones. I don't want Piper to find a ball for Scout. I don't know why, but I don't. I renew my search, looking inside every bush, kicking aside the leaves underneath. I'm right up against the chain link fence now. The rec yard wall is solid cement, maybe 16 feet high. But right where the chain link meets the cement wall, I see a gap. The hillside has crumbled away, leaving a space between the fence and the mountain. Is this new? Did the mountain erode in all the rain? My heart beats loud in my throat. I look down at Natalie. She hasn't moved a muscle. I won't be able to see her once I get up there, but I know better than to try to move her once she's all set up. I'll just make it quick, that's all. A couple of seconds to look. 1 minute, that'll be enough. A ball could be sitting right there out in the open, just waiting for me. I know this is a lousy idea, but it doesn't matter. A gap in the fence is a magnet. It just is. Chapter 24. Like a regular sister. Same day, Tuesday, April 2nd, 1935. It takes me longer than I thought it would to get to the gap. The hill is steep and slippery with rocks and shale, land sliding down as I go up. But the guard can't see me here. A chink in the hill blocks his view. When I get to the hole in the fence, I wonder if I'll fit. The only way to tell if a ball is there is to look under the bushes, and I can't do that from over here. But what if I get stuck under the fence? What will I do? I wish I could see Natalie. I should just go back and forget about this. But then, I spot a little glimmer of grayish, whitish something resting on a rock. A baseball? I search for a stick to poke under the fence to see if I can roll the ball my way. It's not close enough. Only way to find out is to go under. I sit down with the bump and stick my feet through. I scoot forward and get my knees under. This is taking too long. I have to check on Natalie. I lose my nerve and scoot back. But then I remember how hard it was getting up here. I'll take twice as long if I have to go back to see her and then climb the shale slide up again. Didn't my mom say I should treat Natalie like a regular sister? I wouldn't go and check on a regular sister, that's for sure. I stick my legs under again. Now I'm up to my waist. The zigzag chain link at the bottom pokes into my belly, but I wiggle through. The only problem now is my big shoulders. Football shoulders, my Uncle Dan calls them. I wiggle, inch, turn my head, and curl under. Now I race for the ball, but I slow down as I get close. My throat gets tight. This is not a ball, it's just a piece of cardboard. I turn it over. The back says, Circle Janet T. Janet Trixel. It's a project from the kindergarten class. I'm so angry I want to tear the circle up, but I don't. I shove it in my pocket. Then I think of Natalie. Cut your losses, I hear my dad say. I'm going straight back to her. Only I just have to peek 1 or 2 more places. It kills me to have risked all of this for nothing. Piper will get a ball for Scout, and he'll think I didn't even try. Scout and Piper. Piper and Scout. But all I find is dirt, stones, sticks, and leaves. Now I feel like a real chump. I scoop myself back under, scratching my hand on the fence. At least I don't get stuck, I tell myself as the count bell rings. The little hairs along my spine stand up. I should never have left Natalie alone here. When it's really foggy, they don't let the cons work. Is it that foggy today? I slide down the hillside as fast as I can. And there she is, her blonde brown head bent over her rocks. She's sorting them. Of course she is. Everything is fine. I blow air out in a great big sigh. I'm standing by Natalie now. She doesn't look up. Hey Nat, everything okay here? You just been playing your game, right? 105, she says. 105? I ask, trying to catch my breath as the foghorns sound again. Is that how many rocks you have? Wow, that's a lot. I hope she doesn't plan on lugging 105 rocks home. I look closer. She has 30, maybe 40. Nowhere near 105 of them. I look up at the birds. There are 15 or so. Still, a big flock could have landed here while I was up there. She could have counted 105 birds. Sure, easy. Lots of birds, huh? 105. Wow, I say. She looks up from her rocks. I see by the slight motion of her head that she's counting the birds down by the water. Bad moose, she says. 13. 13 now, 105 before. They come and go, don't they, Natalie? 13! She's irritated now, like I'm being incredibly stupid. Natalie count birds 13. All right, I say. 13.